Welcome to my channel. This is an indication of some of the things that I cover on a regular basis in my videos. If you haven't already subscribed, please feel free to do so, and don't forget to click the little bell so that you'll get notified of future videos. Please feel free to share my videos on your social media, and I hope you enjoy the video which follows. Well, I'm going to dig up the soft-neck garlic that's coming in with my peas here, because I think what's happened, it's small heads of garlic that didn't get harvested, so all the cloves in the head have germinated and they're coming up in one spot, so you don't have a chance of, I don't think, anything developing. So I'm going to move them over and put them in with the hardneck in a row by themselves, hopefully, so I can tell them apart. But yeah, that's what's happened. Each of the cloves, and actually the cloves aren't too bad size on that one. Guess I should have dug around a little more last fall. Well, I got 17 individual plants out of it when I dug them up and divided them. I'm just going to put them in this bed wherever there's space, that I don't see a hardneck garlic coming up. And they should be relatively easy to tell apart one from the other. At least I think so. The soft-neck garlic, as far as I know, does not develop scapes. And of course, when you harvest it, it has a soft stem. It's the kind that you can breed into those fancy-looking breeds of garlic heads. And where you can't do that with the hardneck garlic because it's on a very solid stem that will not be breedable. So I'm going to stick the 17 in here and we'll see what happens later on in the season. Well, I just took delivery of 10 bales of this. I'm excited to use it if it ever warms up and dries off here. Whoa, today it's only been 6 degrees and raining, not a lot of rain, but at one point we had big snowflakes in with the rain. This stuff is organic and it's made by ProMix, and I've never used this particular product before, but any of the ProMix products that I have used before are well worth what you pay for them. This one is not cheap. It was booked $27 Canadian a bale. They're 18.1 kilogram bales, 2 cubic feet I think is what the measurement is on them there. 112 liters, all kinds of information on them if you keep reading, I guess. It has rave reviews online anyway. I plan to put about 5 bales of it in the hoopos, covering all the beds that are in there and then working it in, and use the rest in containers. I want to plant my potatoes and other things that I grow in containers. So I'm sure I have at least enough of it, but $27 plus tax plus delivery, it was over $300 for the 10 bales of the stuff. So anxious to get a nice warm day so that I can cut some of it open and use it. Well, hopefully you can make that out. That is my very first asparagus spear of the year coming up. Once they get started coming up, it usually happens quite quickly, but oh, the weather here has been so cold and so wet. I'm not surprised that they're late getting out of the ground. There looks like the possibility that we may get a bit of sunshine this afternoon. I'm going to try planting my potatoes this morning. I guess I didn't say this is May 16th. I'm only going to grow 6 containers for myself anyway. If I'm lucky and get one of the plots at the community garden, I will plant a couple of more potatoes up there in one end of my plot. I was up and tried to look at it the other day, but it's in behind a gate and fenced and locked, so I can get very close to it. I was going to add some video clips. The official opening is the 26th of May, and that's when you're supposed to be able to register, so I'll keep you informed as to whether or not I get a plot. I say I'm only going to grow 6 containers here for myself. I have filled each one about a quarter full of the ProMix compost. Very dry, which is good, makes it a little lighter to carry. It says 2 cubic feet on the package, but it also says that's compressed and it expands to 4 cubic feet when you open it, which I believe it does. There's a lot of material in each one. I'll show you my potato here. As you can see, I've put the containers on a tarp. I'm not concerned about it killing the grass. There's nothing out here that I care about. We're in the bed next to where my peas are growing. I'll give you a peek at those in a minute. I just didn't want grass and whatever to grow up around them and spend the summer trying to get rid of that, so I put them on a tarp. The variety that I'm growing is called Superior. I've never grown it before. It's a white potato, supposedly an early potato. I bought my seed at the feed store, farm store, where I get my chicken feed and whatever. She had several varieties, 7 or 8, maybe 10 different varieties, but I'd never seen such large seed potatoes. That is probably one of the medium-sized ones in there that you're looking at right now. They're well chitted though. They've got good sprouts starting on them, and I'm just going to cover them with more of the compost, and that's as much as I will do until they come up through that. And when they do, I'll just keep earthing them up with more of this compost until they get to the top. I probably will water them, although there's probably more rain coming in the next few days, and potatoes don't really need to be watered when first planted. All of their energy and the water that they need is stored in the seed potato until they're well up and growing. But I will probably dampen them down a little anyway. Well, let's have a little look at a couple of the other things that have started to come up here. Good germination with the peas. Me digging up the soft neck garlic didn't seem to disturb anything too much. I still see 1 or 2 more coming up. I'm just going to leave them there, I guess. But they should be in full leaf if we get another sunny day or so, and starting to really grow. Hopefully you can see some little green leaves there. Excellent germination so far with the peas. It's a 16-foot row, and I used that little seeder thing for distributing the seeds for the first time I've ever used one, and I like the success from it, I guess. They may look a little thick there in places, but so far nothing I don't think that I'd have to thin. I'll wait and see if the slugs thin anything. Can't really show you a parsnip. They're just starting to come up this morning. I see 2 or 3 places where there's little green leaves, so a day of sunshine and I should have parsnips. Well, that's 5 bales, at least in the hoop house. Now I have to break it apart and spread it on top of what is already there. When I was planting the potatoes, I forgot to mention, this product has a lot of peat moss in it, and on the label it tells you that they have added lime. That's to counteract the acidity of the peat moss, which is got me a little bit concerned about my potatoes. Lime and potatoes do not get along well together. It's when you get potato scab on the skin of the potato. If there's too much lime in the soil is too alkaline, whatever. It doesn't hurt the potato any. I mean, it's still just as edible. You peel it and don't eat the peel, that's all. It's kind of scabby looking. But time will tell, I guess, when I harvest my potatoes, if there was too much lime in this or if it was just enough to balance it. Well, I get in there with the rake and get that spread around. Well, there it is, roughly spread, anyway. In talking or corresponding, whatever, with Sophpa Davy in Switzerland, I was saying that I think I've lost my self-sowing dill in here. Usually there's all kinds of dill that comes out, but amending the beds like this, I thought I'd been covering it all up. Well, when I went to spread this around, I saw several thousand seedlings. It certainly looked like dill to me. And some of them are starting to get their 3rd leaf, and they definitely were dill. Of course, I've buried them again. But what I plan to do before I transplant anything in here is I will take the garden fork and not actually dig this over, but put the garden fork down in and twist it everywhere, just to mix the layers up a bit. I've got that composted chicken manure and then this ProMix, organic ProMix on top. And the organic ProMix has mycorrhizers in it, which are supposedly really good for helping with root development. So I want some of that to get down around the roots. Actually, I still have 4 bales of it that I haven't used yet, so I will probably add a bit of it every time I transplant something so that I'm sure that it gets down around the roots. But I suspect what I'm saying here, when I dig around with my fork, I will raise up more of the dill seeds, and I'll have more dill than I know what to do with, which is usually what happens. I pull a lot of it out, but it's great to have something that comes back every year and you don't have to buy more seed and plant it. It just does its own thing. Well, despite the cold, damp weather, the 4 rows of peas are up and doing quite well. Hopefully I will have some peas. I don't think there's any danger of frost from now on. But boy, the weather has been miserable. Wet, cold, damp, foggy, very, very little sunshine. Well, to close this off, I want to give you a look at the parsnips, and then I'll get this thing uploaded. Well, before we look at the parsnips, just a little look at my garlic. I'm really quite pleased. The hard neck is all up, and those soft neck garlic that I transplanted, every one of them seems to have taken and doing okay. It remains to be seen what will actually be produced, but once the garlic got up through the frozen ground here, it took off, and this wet weather anyway seems to like it. I guess that should give you some idea of what the germination was like. It's a 16-foot row, and the entire length of it looks like that. I used the whole package of seed because I never have any idea what kind of a germination rate you might get. But with parsnips, those seed wouldn't be any good next year. They have to be fresh every year or you get practically no germination at all. So I have got a lot of thinning to do here, I guess. I'm still going to let it go a little while longer, though. Nature may thin it yet with slugs or some other creature chewing on them, so I will leave them alone for a week or two yet before I do a drastic thinning. Well, I guess that concludes this little video. Thank you very much for watching.